I'm Dr. Anthony Harper here, blessed to be in Jerusalem, Israel, and to join me is the chairman of the World Zionist Organization, Mr. Yaakov Hagoel, and the assistant that is going to be translating for us today. And your name again is?
Eitan Behar.
Well, thank you, both of you, for joining me on these very crucial issues regarding anti-Semitism. And the first question for you, Mr. Hagoel, is what are your top concerns regarding anti-Semitism?
לצערנו אנחנו חווים תקופה קשה מאוד של אנטישמיות, שדרך אגב, אנחנו מדברים על העשור האחרון, כל שנה ישנם יותר אירועים אנטישמיים, ואנחנו חווים את זה פי 8 מאז ה-7 באוקטובר.
So unfortunately, we're experiencing a very tough period of time of over a decade of ongoing rise in anti-Semitic incidents worldwide, and particularly after October 7th, we see this 8 times even worse.
צריך להבין, ב-7 באוקטובר לא החלה רק מלחמה נגד מדינת ישראל. ב-7 באוקטובר החלה מלחמה נגד העם היהודי בכל העולם. באותו יום התחיל קמפיין של עשרות מיליוני דולרים של אותו ציר רשע נגד מדינת ישראל, נגד העם היהודי, וכמובן נגד כל המערב.
We have to understand that in October 7th, the war that started on October 7th was not only against the state of Israel. It was against the Jewish people and the entire Western world. And on that same day, a massive campaign of anti-Semitism worldwide basically began.
אנחנו עם שלצערנו מכיר את התקופות האלה. היתרון שלנו היום וההשוואה לשואה שקרתה לפני 80 שנה זה שיש לנו בית משלנו, יש לנו את מדינת ישראל, מדינה חזקה, מדינה טובה ומדינה עם ערכים גדולים מאוד.
So the advantages we have, I mean, these periods of times are unfortunately known to the Jewish people, and the advantage that we have this time is comparing to the days of the Holocaust that took place 80 years ago. Now we have a home, we have our own country, independent, Jewish, strong and good country.
Well, speaking about our interview today, I know that you are located in Israel as well as we're recording this.
כן, ברוך השם, ישראל היא מדינה חזקה, ישראל היא מדינה שבטח בשכונה הזאת של המזרח התיכון היא הדמוקרטיה היחידה, היא עם צבא ערכי מאוד, אולי הצבא הערכי ביותר בעולם, ואנחנו גאים ושמחים על כך.
Yep, Yaakov he's in Israel, in Tel Aviv, and yes, is enforcing the understanding that we do have a state of Israel, a strong one, the only democracy in the Middle East, with an amazing military that values life and values freedom.
What has the response been for your perspective to the International Criminal Court's decisions? How has that impacted regarding rise of anti-Semitism?
איך זה השפיע? בית המשפט הבינלאומי בהאג.
אנחנו, לצערנו, יש לנו אמון קטן במוסדות האלה. אנחנו רואים איך ההצבעות באו"ם, אנחנו רואים מה קורה בבית המשפט בהאג, ולצערנו לא צדק קורה שם. יש פה הטיה ממניעים אנטי-ציוניים, ממניעים אנטישמיים, ממניעים אנטי-ישראלים, ואנחנו, יש לנו את האמת, והיא אמת אחת. האמת האחת זה שאנחנו הותקפנו ב-7 באוקטובר על ידי גורמים שאי אפשר לקרוא להם בני אדם, שאנסו את ילדינו ואת נשינו, ששחטו את האנשים הכי טובים לנו, ואנחנו רק רוצים לשמור על השלמות שלנו ועל הבריאות שלנו ועל זה שנמשיך לחיות כאן אנחנו נשמח שזה יהיה בשלום, אבל האויב הזה הוא אויב רע ומר.
Okay, so unfortunately, Yaakov is saying that unfortunately we have a very, very little trust in such institutions, including the International Court in Hague, as well as the United Nations. I mean, uh, there's no doubt that there's a huge bias against us, and that October 7th was an attack against the state of Israel, against the Jewish people, against us. And we're standing alone, and we're saying out loud our truth. And it's unfortunate because on that single day, inhuman monsters basically attacked us, and we have to stand up for our rights and tell the true story.
What is the history of the World Zionist Organization? How long has it been in existence? And Mr. Hagoel, how did you become involved with the World Zionist Organization?
כן, אני גאה לספר שההסתדרות הציונית העולמית זה אותו גוף שהקים בנימין זאב הרצל, תיאודור הרצל, ב-1897 בקונגרס הציוני הראשון בבאזל, מתוך ראייה שההסתדרות הציונית היא הגוף שיקים ויחזק ויהיה הפרלמנט של העם היהודי, ואנחנו שמחים שאת המשימה החשובה ביותר עשינו, בנינו מדינה לעם היהודי אחרי 2000 שנות גלות, ויש לנו עוד משימות רבות, שזה להעלות עוד יהודים ארצה, שזה לחזק את הקהילות היהודיות, זה להילחם באנטישמיות, ואנחנו עושים עבודה טובה, בעיקר בשנה האחרונה, שיש לנו משימות ואתגרים רבים.
So Yaakov is saying that he's very proud to say that that the World Zionist Organization is that same organization that was established by Theodor Herzl in 1897 in the first Zionist Congress in Basel, out of the foreseeing that this will be basically the organization that will pave the way for the establishment of the Jewish state, of the state of Israel, and will serve basically as the parliament of the entire Jewish people worldwide. Nowadays, we have many tasks ahead. Amongst them are strengthening the Jewish communities around the world, promoting Aliyah, fighting anti-Semitism, and more and more.
And how did you become involved, Mr. Hagoel, with the World Zionist Organization?
איך נהיית מעורב?
אני הייתי חניך בתנועת הנוער בית"ר, והתקדמתי עד שהפכתי להיות המנכ"ל של תנועת הנוער בית"ר העולמית, ודרך זה התוודעתי אל האתגרים בעולם היהודי, ונבחרתי על ידי הקונגרס הציוני להיות חבר הנהלה בהסתדרות הציונית, ולאחר מכן יושב ראש ההסתדרות הציונית העולמית. זה כבוד גדול, זה אחריות גדולה, וזה באמת לעמוד בראש התנועה הציונית, שהיא תנועה חשובה בעם היהודי ולעולם בכלל.
So Yaakov basically started his path in the Beitar Zionist Youth Organization that was established by Zev Jabotinsky in 1923 in Riga, Latvia. I'm adding this. And Yaakov he started his way there, and he became also the CEO of World Beitar. And thus he was exposed to the various challenges facing the Jewish people worldwide. He was elected in the Zionist Congress first as a member of the board of the Zionist Congress, and later on throughout the years as a chairman of this great organization. Yaakov says that he has a lot of honor to be leading this Zionist movement, facing the various challenges that we have, and leading it towards a better future.
Well, thank you for sharing this. There's some more important information. I have a couple more questions here, and that is about, do you have any comment, Mr. Hagoel, about the hostage situation and Hamas what has been happening with trying to get some kind of a peace agreement.
ראשית אני רוצה לומר שבחודשים האחרונים נתבקשתי על ידי ראש הממשלת ישראל בנימין נתניהו שההסתדרות הציונית העולמית תטפל במשפחות של החטופים והשבים ארצה, וזה אתגר גדול, וזה משפחות שעוברות גיהנום לא פשוט בזה שיש להם חוסר ידיעה מה קורה עם הילדים שלהם, מה קורה עם בני המשפחה שלהם, וליבי ליבי איתם, ואנחנו מתפללים כולנו לשחרורם במהרה של כל החטופים עוד היום, ואנחנו נעשה ככל שביכולתנו להחזיר את החטופים מצד אחד, מצד שני לשמור על חוסנה של מדינת ישראל, של עם ישראל. זה חשוב לעם היהודי בכלל, אבל זה חשוב גם לעולם כולו. צריך לזכור, מה שהתחיל כאן בגבול עם עזה יכול להימשך ולהיות מהאסלאם הקיצוני בכל מדינות העולם, והאתגר הוא אתגר של כולנו.
Okay, so Yaakov is saying that basically in recent months, he was asked by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that the World Zionist Organization under Yaakov's leadership will help in giving services to the families and the families and those who basically were kidnapped and that those who are coming back home. These families that are going through hell on a daily basis, and Yaakov shares his sympathy with them. We do pray on a daily basis for the release of all the hostages today, not tomorrow, today, and we will do whatever we can in order to make it happen. On the other hand, we as a country, as a nation, as people, we ought to preserve the resilience and strength of us as a people, as a country, as a nation. And Yaakov is adding that whatever basically started in Gaza is maybe kind of like a mirror of what can happen to the rest of the free or Western world tomorrow. And these are very crucial challenges, not only for us as Jews and Israelis, but also for the rest of the Western world.
Mr. Hagoel, how do you think that Israel is responding overall to the international pressure to make a deal for hostage release?
איך אתה חושב שאנחנו עומדים בלחץ שנותנים לנו כדי להגיע בסופו של דבר להסכם, אם זה דבר שהוא טוב או לא טוב?
תראו, זה לא פשוט. יש פה הרבה מאוד משתנים ויש פה הרבה מאוד גורמים, וצריך לזכור, בסוף אנחנו מדינה ריבונית, ואנחנו מדינה עצמאית, ואנחנו צריכים לקבל את ההחלטות מתוך ראייה שמה שטוב למדינת ישראל ולעם היהודי. וזו ההשתדלות, ואין לי ספק שראש הממשלה בנימין נתניהו, שהוא איש עתיר זכויות, שהוא איש שיש בו תבונה וניסיון רב מאוד, מנתב את העניין הזה, ואני מאוד מקווה שאנחנו בימים הקרובים נהיה לאחר הסאגה הזאת. צריך לזכור, אנחנו צריכים לשמור על המדינה שלנו. מדינת ישראל היא הבית של כל היהודים, והיא הבית שיש ליהודים רק מדינה אחת, ואנחנו צריכים לשמור עליה, העולם גם צריך לשמור עליה.
Okay, Yaakov is saying basically this is very, it's not simple. It's a very tough situation. Okay, we ought to remember that we are a free, democratic, and independent country. And we have to make our own decisions out of seeing what is best for our people, for our future, and for the future of the entire Jewish people. Yaakov is saying that there's no doubt that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who's basically brilliant and most experienced leader, is leading the entire situation from a place that sees the future and the security of our people. We have to make sure that people understand that we have only one country, one Jewish country, and it's under our responsibility to make sure that we take our own decisions because we this is our country and we're independent.
I understand it. I wanted to let you know, Mr. Hagoel, that many Christians are praying for you and all of Israel and supporting Israel in so many ways. And we're very sad about what happened on October 7th, about all the wars Israel experienced, a great pain and suffering. So I'm here to convey, our prayers and support for Israel in this very difficult time. Our Christian community has been going through a lot in supporting Israel, and will continue, I know, to be in prayer and support for all of you here, and for protection over Israel from all your enemies in this matter, and for God's wisdom in these very crucial times. For a message to Christians that support Israel, Mr. Hagoel, what would your message be to Christians?
אני רוצה להודות,
תחזור חזרה כי קטעתי אותך, יעקב. קטעתי אותך, בבקשה.
אני רוצה להודות לנוצרים אוהבי ישראל, שעושים רבות למען עם ישראל, למען מדינת ישראל. אנחנו לא רואים את זה מובן מאליו, ואנחנו מחבקים ומודים על העזרה שלנו, על העזרה שלכם תמיד אלינו, ובטח בימים האלה אנחנו חשים את החום, את האהבה ואת העזרה, ואנחנו רוצים להודות לכם על כך, ושהקדוש ברוך הוא יברך אתכם, ושתמשיכו לעשות טוב למען העולם כולו.
Yaakov would like to thank the Christians, lovers of Israel worldwide, for their ongoing support for the people of Israel and the state of Israel. This is something that is not it's not being taken for. It's not something that we should take for granted. Yaakov is thanking on behalf of himself and the entire Jewish people for the ongoing support, for the prayers, especially in this crucial period of time that we're experiencing. We do feel the embracement and the warmth and the assistance that the entire Christian world is supplying for the Jewish people and the state of Israel. And Yaakov concludes with, may God bless you, and may you continue doing only good things, not only for our people, but for the entire world.
I do thank you for sharing your thoughts on these very crucial issues. And I think of, in light of Genesis 12:3, it talks about blessings for those that bless Israel. For Mr. Hagoel, what is your comment about, maybe if you could, on Genesis 12:3, about the importance of blessing Israel that is stated in Genesis 12:3?
הוא שואל בעצם, הוא מצטט את ואברכך מברכך שהשם אומר לאברהם, מה המסר שלך בהתאם לזה לעולם הנוצרי?
אנחנו כצאצאיו של אברהם אבינו, כולנו, אנחנו מברכים בימים האלה את העולם כולו. אנחנו נשמח שלא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב ולא נדע עוד מלחמה, ונראה את העתיד של הילדים שלנו והנכדים שלנו מתוך אהבה, מתוך רוגע, מתוך רצון לשלום, כי אנחנו צריכים לזכור, בסוף אנחנו צאצאיו של אותו אדם.
So, as descendants of Abraham, our forefather, we greet the Christian world for this as a continuity, basically, of what says in Genesis, and we also strive to get to the blessing of there should be no more war anymore, okay, according to the prophet. And may we see the future of our children and our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, as we all seek to get to days of rest and peace.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hagoel. I wanted for people to know, have more information about World Zionist Organization. And I know there's a website, and if you could share that website address for our audience, any other information.
Yes, of course. The website is wzo.org.il, and welcome to Israel, and thank you very much.
Well, it's great to have you join, our audience on these very, very important, so crucial issues, praying for the peace of Jerusalem, for Israel, and we will have a link. There will be a link to your website in the description box of this interview, this video. Thank you for joining me and sharing these important concerns and your thoughts on the matter of the rise of anti-Semitism. And maybe do you see any difference between, I want a final question, do you see any difference between anti-Semitism and Jew hatred, or are they considered both the same?
האם יש הבדל בעיקרון בין אנטי-ציונות לאנטישמיות?
No, it's the same. It's the same. It's only a mask. It's the same. It's not a different.
Okay. That's good to know, to get that clarified. Anti-Semitism, so often it seems to be a little bit confusing in people's different perspective on that, but making it more clear, and I thank you for that clarification about what it really is hatred of the Jewish people. And I encourage those that are watching this video to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and for Israel. And thank you for sharing today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Dr.
Nice to
Harper,
meet
thank you
you.
very much. Thank you very, very much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for your time.
Nice to meet you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless.
So this is the room this is the original room for the first Prime Minister?
Of Israel, yes, but it served as his office between 1950, which is already 2 years after the establishment of the State of Israel, until 1962. And up to this day, serves as the office of the chairman of the World Zionist Organization, which basically paved the way for the establishment of the State of Israel, and still up to this day works as the leadership of the entire Jewish people worldwide.
So this is the room that, as you mentioned, served as office of the first Prime Minister. So this is the room this is the original room for the first Prime Minister?
Of Israel, yes, but it served as his office between 1950, which is already 2 years after the establishment of the State of Israel, until 1962. And up to this day serves as the office of the chairman of the World Zionist Organization, which basically paved the way for the establishment of the State of Israel, and still up to this day works as the leadership of the entire Jewish people worldwide.
So this is the room that, as you mentioned, served as office of the first Prime Minister, David Ben-Gurion. Okay, so this is 1944, and Ben-Gurion, and who else in the picture?
Ben-Gurion, we have Chaim Weizmann, president of the State of Israel. This is 1944. We have Fishman and Kaplan and Moshe Sharet right here.
And so they were all in that room that we
right
just
here,
were
right
in.
here. You can move to the left. You can see the assembly hall. Okay. And this is what it is right here.
Okay. This is a situation room, or the decision room, and your name is Eitan?
Eitan Behar.
Yeah, so the significance, again, about this is that this is at the beginning of the formation of Israel and the decisions.
Even it started before and kept on going after. And right, you'll see outside, David Ben-Gurion is first prime minister of the State of Israel, but he also served until Israel was established, he was the chairman of the World Zionist Organization and the Jewish Agency. And he had basically two offices here on that same hall. Why? Because he wanted to separate his job, his role as Prime Minister and as Chairman of the World Zionist Organization. You'll see it in a minute.
Okay.
So we're in the National Institutions building, in the very place in which the Israeli government, before the establishment of the State of Israel, and following it, took place. All the government meetings basically took place in this hall and are still taking place by the leadership of the World Zionist Organization, which basically represents all Jews from all over the world. It serves basically as the parliament of the Jewish people worldwide. And you can see where David Ben-Gurion and the leadership of the Zionist movement would sit and discuss. And I cannot tell you how many decisions, great decisions, took place in this very hall, and a very historic place. And another thing, since this building was already built under the occupation of the British and served basically as the government of the Jewish people to survive, there are many slicks, weapon slicks, behind those walls, and they keep on finding it every now and then.
I'm standing here in front of the World Zionist Organization office, and then also you mentioned, Eitan, this is a very historic place for the beginning of
basically Jewish sovereignty in the state of Israel. In this building basically was established in the early 30s. I mean, it started in the early 20s, but finished in the early 30s. And it served basically as the offices of the government for the country to be established, and all of this under the open or closed eyes of the British who rules here. And you needed a lot of courage to do such thing under the eyes of the British. I mean, basically you're planning to build here, to establish here another country, another entity. And the British did not like it whatsoever. And in this very balcony, all the leaders of the Zionist leadership spoke to the people that came here for either demonstrations or holidays or occasions like this, and facing towards the old city of Jerusalem, which is about a mile away from here, which was basically back then under the occupation and not under Jewish hands. This is the closest place you could go to, and the whole concept of being here is Ein Letzion Sophia. We always foreseen towards Zion, and thank God we came here. We established a Jewish state, a beautiful country with many values of freedom, of democracy, of heritage, of loving kindness. And we're happy to continue this journey, this eternal journey that started with Abraham, continued through Moses, continued through Theodor Herzl, and in nowadays until eternity.
At the corner of King George and J&F Streets in Jerusalem, one will find, since the 1930s, the building that became the symbol of the Jewish state in the making, the home of the Jewish people. The historic events that were commemorated at this plaza, the big and important celebrations, and the fateful decisions that were made in this building impact our lives to this very day. This is the unique story of one building in Jerusalem, the National Institutions Building.